Welcome to CCG TV, the Keep Columbus Beautiful Earth Notes. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you all who are tuning in for the very first time, the mission of Keep Columbus Beautiful is to engage and educate individuals to be better stewards to our environment by enhancing beautification, eliminating litter and blight, and protecting the environment. And it's up to us individually to do just that, because we cannot live without our environment. And so it's important for us to be good stewards to our environment. And we certainly do try to bring programs so that you'll gain a little bit more knowledge so that you can become a better steward to our environment and a better citizen of Columbus, Georgia. So if you're not recycling, we need for you all to call 311 today and request your blue band, and they'll bring it right out there to you with instructions, tell you where to place it on the curb, and then you'll be a recycler. That'll be one of the first things that you can do to be a good steward to our environment. Now, I have a wonderful guest in the studio with me today. He's been here before, but we've been working together on some projects off and on for many, many years. Officer Poole with Special Enforcement. Thank you, Officer Poole, for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, ma'am.
Wonderful. You know, it's good seeing you, and I'm happy that you're on the set, because I know that there are a lot of things that are going on that we'll be able to share with our viewing audience that will help them to be good stewards to our environment.
I certainly hope so.
So tell us first a little bit about you. Are you originally from Columbus?
No, ma'am. I'm a transplant. I'm originally from Camden, Arkansas.
How'd you get here?
Retired Army military here from Fort Benning. Been living here since off and on since 1993.
Okay.
And now I'm the supervisor of special enforcement. I have 6 officers that work for me.
Oh, wonderful. And so how long have you been with the city?
18 years.
18 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So then, as the supervisor of special enforcement, your goal with that particular department, what do you all do?
We enforce the solid waste ordinance for the city of Columbus. That involves everything from weed, solid waste, junk vehicles, illegal dumping, scrap tires, standing water, all the environmental ordinances, basically.
Okay, good. So now for our viewing audience, that a lot of times we get a lot of calls and they'll tell us, okay, we got a lot of trash in these areas. Or, for instance, the person that they're living next door to them may have accumulated a lot of solid waste, some junk cars, and what would you encourage them to do? How would they handle that?
They should contact our office, ma'am, or call 311 to make the complaint. We will take the complaint, assign an officer to the case who will go out and inspect to see if there's a violation.
Okay. And now for junk cars, what would having a violation to have cars out there? You know, a lot of times people have many cars and some of them want to keep them for a long time, but in order for it to be qualified as a junk car, what kind of requirements should they not meet, or do they have to meet to not be designated as a junk car?
Well, there are 5 basic things that we look at on vehicles to see if we can qualify them as being a junk vehicle. One of them is the vehicle is inoperable.
Okay.
Does it have flat tires, overgrown with vegetation?
Okay.
Is it missing critical parts, or does it have a current or no tag on it?
Okay. So
Now, a combination of any 2 of those things, not just one, but there has to be 2 of them wrong with the vehicle, will qualify as being classifiable as a junk vehicle.
Okay, wonderful. So then if there's a car parked in my next door neighbor's yard and there's a flat tire and it looks like that they've been up underneath the hood and something is missing, then I can call 311 and then you all can come out and look at it.
Yes, ma'am. We will come out and look at it, see if we can qualify it as being a junk vehicle.
Oh, okay.
If so, if it's on private property, we're required to issue a 15-day warning to have the vehicle either removed or brought into compliance.
Okay.
Once that is done, then we can write off on it and say that it's taken care of. If it is not in compliance, we could issue a court summons and have them come before the judge at Recorder's Court.
Okay, and that's environmental court, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have
environmental court. Yeah, we're so excited because I don't know if you know, but Keep Columbus Beautiful spearheaded the implementation of the environmental court in 2002. And originally we thought that it would only have a few cases, but now they have a docket that's almost full all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
We just have to make sure that our judges are really being good steward too, by making sure that those people who are repeat infractions in violation, and that they actually understand that, you know, they are going to get a stiff penalty for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so that's with junk cars, but what would constitute high weeds? What's
Any high grass and or weeds that are 18 inches higher, or which is about knee deep on the average person,
okay?
within 100 foot of any building, not necessarily an occupied building, but any building,
Any building.
will be a violation of the city code.
Okay, and then they can call 311 for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you all see high weeds that's over 18
inches.
18 inches, that's next to you or in a building that's close to you, that it doesn't matter whether it is vacant or occupied.
Correct.
If those weeds are there, they can call 311 and report it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then it can be addressed.
Yes, ma'am.
So there's two things that we've covered so far, and that's junk cars and high weeds.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what else? What are the other areas? Because I think you said it was 5, or
Well, there's solid waste.
Oh, that's right.
Now, which constitutes not just stuff in the yard, but trash or garbage
Right.
or junk in the yard.
Okay.
Now, that would be a violation of the city code also. We do the same thing with that. We issue warnings, or if the problem happens to be particularly egregious, we can go straight to issuing a court summons.
Okay.
There's no time giving in the ordinance that we have to give a particular warning time
that.
period to correct the action.
oh, okay. So then, if someone was living near you and they had a lot of old toys and just junk from maybe some old construction and just a lot of things that are just placed out in the front yard that looks bad, does
No,
that?
ma'am.
That's not okay.
No, ma'am, it is
Okay.
not. We do not have an ordinance on unsightly or an
Okay.
eyesore.
Okay.
We have an ordinance on solid waste.
Just on trash.
Just on trash.
All right.
Toys are not trash.
Okay.
If you have flower pots in the yard, they're flower pots.
Okay.
And other items. We're talking about trash, garbage, or stuff that's been discarded. For instance, if they had something in the yard that could no longer be used for its original intended purpose,
Okay.
then that would be considered junk, which is also a violation.
Okay, so then if my next door neighbor was placing their trash out 3 days ahead of time and it's all just stacked out there, would that be a violation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Trash cans and our trash bags
That's right.
can only be placed at the curb on the day of collection.
That's right.
And if there's a trash can there after the trash has been removed, it must be removed from the city right away and placed next to or behind the house.
All right. Okay.
ma'am.
So now you all heard that. This is so important because I drive through a lot of communities and I know when those trash days are coming in. And I see a lot of trash that are placed out there, mainly in plastic bags.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes they're in cans or containers, but a lot of times they aren't sealed at the top. So, you know, they're really an eyesore. And then it's an invitation for those rodents. When you have dogs or other animals that's in that area, they turn them over and then the trash just stays out there. And then on trash pickup day, the people who are coming out to pick up that trash, they're not obligated to go and pick up trash that's not in a container.
Yes, ma'am. It
So
must be
it just stays
containerized.
there.
It must be containerized.
I'm seeing so much of that. So it's so important. You all need to place your trash on the right of way the day of your trash collection and not 2 days before or the day before. Sometimes if it's really cold outside and I know that I can secure mine, I'll put it on the curb early, but I know now that I need to put it out on the day of the trash collection. And that will help beautify our area a whole lot, but it'll also get rid of some of this trash that we're finding on our roadways, you know, and from people just throwing things out on the car. Because a lot of times what happens is when you see trash in an area, more people will throw other trash out there because it looks like it's already trashy.
Yes, ma'am. And we do have a problem with that. Another thing that we check on is dumping.
Okay.
If we get a complaint about a dump site, we go to that location to see if we can find evidence of who dumped the trash on that particular location.
That's right.
Instead of putting it in front of their house.
Okay.
And a lot of people, for some unknown reason, simply don't realize a lot of the stuff that they throw in the back of a truck
That's
and
right.
drive all over town looking for a place to throw it out. Only thing they need to do is put it at the curb and the city would pick it up anyway.
That's right.
Furniture, appliances, all that stuff that you see people running around throwing out on the side of the road someplace, the only thing they had to do is put it at the curb. The city would have picked it up anyway.
And then it would help too if they're placing some bulky items out that they would know when that day is that the city will pick it up, because bulky items are picked up on the same day as yard waste.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it's important that if you have refrigerators or furniture parts, anything that's big and bulky from inside of your home, if you're going to place it on the curb, place it out there on the day that you would normally put your grass clippings or any shrubs or tree cut limbs. Put it out on that same day, because that's when it'll be picked up on your grass day pickup.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Now,
or they can call 311, right? And then say, we put this out because we know we won't be here. Can you all get somebody to come by and pick it up? Is that right?
If you have questions about collection of any items, call 311. They can forward you to solid waste collection, who will let you know what they will and will not do.
Okay.
Some of the things they will not pick up is a cut down tree.
Okay, yeah.
Well, they will pick it up, but it's called a tree for fee. If you cut down a tree, you are liable for the removal of that tree, which should be removed. The city will pick it up, but you have to pay them extra tree for fee. Construction waste will not be picked up. Any kind of construction or renovation
old
project you have, carpet they will pick up. However, they will not pick it up in bulk.
Okay.
You can't just roll it up and throw it out at the curb. If it's cut into small pieces and properly containerized, they will remove it.
Okay.
Other construction waste, scrap lumber, roofing
Bricks.
tiles, anything like that, the city will not pick that up.
Okay.
You have to take that to the landfill yourself.
And it's so important for them to secure those loads, because, you know, now that they put in the new technology boulevard over there, you know, there is not, there is some proper signage up there as it would relate to the speed. But because there aren't any stop signs or traffic lights there, people are always flying. And then they're coming in with trucks that are loaded, but they're not properly secured. So we're finding that, you know, the people who are working at the landfill are having to go out and man that area on a regular basis now, because people are not securing their loads. So if you have a truck and you're transporting items, it's so important for you all to make sure that you put a tarp on it or you tie it down, so that once you take off, it won't take off the back of your truck.
And we have an ordinance for that too.
I know it.
Vehicle spillage. If we find you and you're driving down the road, or it's reported to us that you've been driving down the road and stuff is falling off the back of your vehicle, you can be cited for that also.
But now, one thing that you all can't do is to, if you are, well, maybe if you are behind a car or a truck and they are, and material is coming off the back, could you stop that truck?
Well, we can't do that.
You
We
can't
will
do
certainly
that.
follow you to your destination.
You can follow them and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
stop them, and then you can issue a citation.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that's why we had earlier this year, we had code enforcement training on litter. And we engaged the police department, the sheriff department, and the marshal, because they're the only ones who can actually stop a vehicle as they're traveling down and may be littering and not be aware of it. But you all can actually follow them to their designation where they're going to stop.
And we have.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
good, good. And the other thing that's important for our viewing audience to remember is that if trash is out and it's in a bag and it's in the wrong place, then you all can go through that bag, and the address that's on anything that's in there, you can tie that right back to that person or that business, and you can issue a citation. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. If we find evidence and or if we have a witness, and we do have occasionally witnesses that will come forward that observe somebody doing this,
Okay.
they're willing to come to court and testify that that person did that, they saw them do that, that stands in court. And of course, any of these violations which we're speaking are punishable by 90 days in jail and or $1,000 fine.
That's right.
Per violation.
That's right, right. And so it's important to know now, if you are a litter bug, you can be charged up to $1,000 or spend 90 days in jail. It's so important for us to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to keep our community clean and safe and beautiful. And it starts with one individual, and that's you. And it starts with me too. And collectively as a group, if we did what we needed to do to take care of our environment and to keep our community clean, we wouldn't have telephone calls coming in saying, it's a whole lot of trash over here, or I need for you to send somebody out for this. If we could just be responsible, it's so important for us to make sure that we are taking care of our environment.
Absolutely, ma'am. We're trying to keep the public healthy.
Wonderful. Well, you know, I can't thank you enough for the job that you do, and we appreciate everything that you do. Now, the other thing that our audience needs to know is that there's 220 miles here in Columbus and Muskogee County that you all are charged with trying to take care of. And you have six officers and 7 with yourself. And there's no way for you all to be the eyes, the ears, and the mouth of this full community without their support.
We need all the help we can get, ma'am.
We need it. Thank you all for tuning in to CCG TV, the Keep Columbus Beautiful Earth Notes, and we see you the next time. But until then, make sure you're a good steward to our environment. Call 311, request your blue band, and call 311 to report any infractions. Yes.